Hey everyone, welcome to Rocky Tropics Gardening. It is 11.5 degrees, so we used to have those sorts of temperatures in spring. Probably not at 20 to 8 in the morning, but in the tropics when we lived there on the Atherton tablelands. There are a few things that we're going to look at today. The cabbages, which there in the tropics you would be looking at those, and the asparagus have sprouted. You can probably barely see some green here. They're well on their way. And some tomatoes have gone in, so if you don't plant in the wet season, especially tomatoes don't like that, they rot off, and well, most of them do. The larger ones do. The smaller ones, the cherry tomatoes, are usually okay unless you get a lot of rain, which has happened to me in the past. So I quite understand that a lot of gardeners in the tropics don't plant much over summer, especially tomatoes. They don't like their leaves being wet constantly. But let's have a look in the garden. I have also planted my mango tree, so I'll show you that. This is my baby Bowen mango tree, or Kensington Pride. Has a little of a kick over at the top, but I'm hoping to be able to straighten that when I get a longer stake in there. I just plonked it in the ground yesterday. Well, I didn't actually. I'll put the video here. It took a bit more than plonking. It has a swale around the base so that it keeps water in the warmer weather, and if it gets too much water it just flows out the back downhill. So that's been really handy, knowing about swales. Even in the hot weather they're still quite useful to keep the water around the base of the tree, and I build them up. Probably can't see it from this angle, but all of my fruit trees, for the sake of drainage, are actually quite high in the ground, little mounds. It was actually a real estate agent told us that when we first went to the Atherton tablelands, to mound up fruit trees like that. It helps with drainage. It makes it tricky if it's really hot weather for a long time, because you have to make sure they don't dry out, but it's not as bad as in a pot because the roots go right down because they're very happy, especially if you put a swale there, which is what I've discovered. So in Melbourne, our best tomato season is over summer. Not so in the tropics, as I was just saying, but these are my Thai pink egg tomatoes, and they are pretty healthy little plants usually. I believe they did pretty well in the shoulder season into summer, but any tomato doesn't like wet leaves for too long. As you can see, my asparagus is pretty healthy. It's getting some little flowers. There you go. Cute little things. I have had asparagus produce berries before, but I'm not sure if these will. There's only one lot of flowers on one plant. But how cute is this? Asparagus is so cute when it comes up. Anyway, nice to see some new shoots coming up. I must be happy. I was going to move it. I still might move it next winter when it dies down, because we have our beds here ready to go once we get some soil, and I'm going to do the permaculture thing. Not that I do a lot of permaculture things, but have the things that need the least maintenance furthest from the house. Not that it really matters, because my house is just over there. It's not like I have a farm. I'm in the suburbs, but they'll be out of the way if I put them over there. But for the meantime, they're here with my little tomatoes. I've got some hollyhock here growing quite well, but I was thinking yesterday I'm probably going to have to get it out from under there. It's going to grow too big. I might put it against the fence over here. I've never grown hollyhock before, so I'd sort of forgotten when I'd seen it before how big it actually grows. You can see someone else's hollyhock if you check out my video from yesterday on reverse homesteading, my other channel in Melbourne. So as you can see, my Savoy cabbage is starting to head up here. Lots of lovely leaves there, and most of my cabbages here are heading up. They don't seem to be bolting. One of them has, but I'm letting it go to seed, producing some lovely seed pods there. That's a sugarloaf cabbage, which are better in the tropics, because sugarloaf cabbages do much better. They don't usually look like that. They're usually more of a an upright cabbage. These little ones here are Mini Crunch. They've been really good. There's only hubby and I at home, and they're just the right size for a meal for both of us. Just little wee things, but it works. My snow peas are still doing pretty well. Still picking those most days. They did die down a bit, but I had to put some manure on to get the flowers coming back. So we'll have those for a little bit longer, I think. My Lapins cherry is doing well here. It's got branches. It was $10 in the shop. I'm not sure what happened to it. I don't think it's a first year whip. I think it might have got broken off and just trimmed back, but a stick for $10 is still a cherry tree. So I'll just put that to the side and I can espalier that easily. And my Stella cherry is doing pretty well. It's got little cherries on it. Quite a few there, only on one branch, which is weird, but that stuff happens. I have a feijoa tree here, which is exciting because I had a couple in the far north but had to leave them when we sold. And I have a couple of strawberries. Apparently they're the sweetest, but we shall find out. And I've got 4 sunshine blue blueberries, which are really cool. They're good for warmer weather. I did have some sunshine blues in the far north, and they did overwinter quite well. We have frosts up there on the Atherton tablelands from time to time, every year or 2 or 3, but depends where you are. Some people had more frosts than that, but the sunshine blue, even though they need less chill hours, which is something that blueberries need, and cherries and apples and other things, not that apples are good for the tropics, but these sunshine blue ones were pretty hardy. They got through winter and they came back in spring as well. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having fun in your garden. I'll see you next time.